Imagine a doctor in the pleasant confines of a city hospital remotely running an ultrasound scanner on a patient parked in an ambulance in a village. Or imagine a host of drones in the sky distributing relief in a disaster zone, which could be earthquake hit or which could be caused by floods. Or imagine farmers in India getting vital tips on their mobile phones about weather patterns, about cyclones, upcoming cyclones, about best quality seeds. All this could become a reality very soon with 5G technology or 5G or fifth generation communication technology. The world is going 5G at blinding speed. China, US, Korea, UK, Japan, Australia have already gone 5G. There's a lot of talk about India going 5G, and there's even talk about about an auction happening likely next year, 2021, which is just around the corner. But then, hold your horses. Are we really ready for a technology like 5G? This is Kalyan Parbat from the Economic Times to give you a sense of what 5G technology is all about, where we are on 5G, what is the fundamental difference between 5G and previous generation technologies. The basic difference between 4G and the earlier generations, such as 2G, 3G, and 5G, is basically that 5G will not merely connect a mobile phone to an internet network or to a wireless broadband network. 5G is about connecting not just mobile phones, but household gadgets, electronics, machines, cars, what have you, to the internet, to with a high-speed internet connection. So we're talking about machines conversing. We're not just merely talking about phone conversations happening. The other key difference, 5G, everybody talks about blinding speeds. Some of it is true. Like with 4G, you get maybe on a realistic level, you get about 40 to 50 Mbps speeds. With 5G, you can start rocking you can start off at about a Gbps, 1 Gbps. Safely say that 5G should be at least 100 times faster in terms of data speeds compared to 4G. So there is something called latency, where 5G is streets ahead of 4G. Now, what is latency? It is the speed at which data transfers happen. Say, for instance, you want to access a particular site. Now, to give you a difference, the human eye, when it sees an object, the brain takes about 10 milliseconds to process that information. Now, in 5G, that processing can happen in 1 millisecond. So you can understand, you can get the sense of the speed. So what does that mean? It means the data transfer is instantaneous, almost. Imagine a situation where there is a driverless car, which is a popular use case in the 5G domain. Now, if data transfers happen instantaneously, then it will be possible for that car, which is driverless, to understand if there's an obstacle and veer and avoid that obstacle.
India is waiting for 5G to come to India and usher even faster era of digitization. We are preparing use cases which is giving users access to cloud gaming, to AR/VR entertainment, and also to factories to get private networks to digitize and automate their production and bring efficiency.
We've been a bit of a laggard on the 5G front. Countries such as China, the US, Korea, Japan, UK, they are way ahead in the 5G space. And we are yet to even auction spectrum, which is the principal resource for any telecom company to roll out 5G services. That hasn't happened. But there is talk that sometime around 2021, there will be a spectrum auction. Initially, possibly 4G, and then possibly we could have a 5G auction later next year. But then, with an auction around the corner, it is all the more critical that we have the digital infrastructure readiness to be able to adopt the technology such as 5G. Experts would say that we are in no situation digitally, infrastructure-wise, to adopt 5G. Why is that?
The networks have to roll out now, and the network requires huge amount of capital investment For a leading telecom industry, this may become quite a daunting task. And to overcome this, the government must also start looking at telecom as an enabling sector, as a horizontal sector, as a foundational sector, much like essential services of water and electricity. Levies, taxes, license fees all need to be relooked at. Archaic levies have to be done away with, and so that it gives some amount of leeway financially to the companies to invest in a robust network, and that network will then stand the test of time and support the type of applications that will come up. Otherwise, a hodgepodge network may come up, but that will not really be beneficial for the country.
Two reasons. Why should 5G spectrum be priced at an affordable rate? Two reasons. One is that it will give the telcos, as in the likes of Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, to have resources not only to buy the spectrum, which is the main raw material for a 5G, high-speed 5G network to happen, and it will also give them capital, adequate capital to invest in networks, in quality networks to support a high-speed, fast mobile broadband technology like 5G. More importantly, if they are able to roll out networks at an affordable rate, they will be able to price 5G services more affordably for mass consumption, or else 5G will end up being a preserve of just the super rich.
On infrastructure side, we will need to prepare on 5G towers to be connected through fiber, and for that fiber there is a key importance of ROWs to be made clear, government properties to be made accessible, so that we can lay fiber and connect the towers to bring this 5G to reality. We'll also need access to microwave bands like E-band, which will allow these towers to be accessed.
One uniform ROW charges and one uniform way of looking at ROW has to be implemented as soon as possible, because without fiberization, the massive bandwidths that 5G is going to produce, the massive data it has to carry, may not be possible with existing infrastructure. We would also have to see that where fiberization is not available or is not cost effective, we have to give fiber on the air, as colloquially ENB bands are called. In addition to that, once the frequency bands are identified, the equipment sector will have to start building up.
Tower fiberization needs to happen in a big time. On a mass level, we are currently at barely 25 to 30% of our mobile towers are fiberized. That needs to go up to around 80 to 90%. Right-of-way clearances need to be aligned nationally, need to be uniform, so that clearances can come through for laying of fiber. Spectrum pricing needs to be seriously looked at by the TRAI and the Government of India to ensure that the base prices are affordable, so that the telcos have the money to buy spectrum. More importantly, the country needs to have more data centers in place to be able to process all that data, because 5G is all about humongous levels of data processing. And so the opportunities are humongous, but we need to get the reality check. Now, for the government, for the regulators, and the industry to work together and come out with a critical blueprint to tone up India's digital infrastructure. Most experts tend to believe that it won't make much of an impact on our lives. We won't be able to experience the power and the magic of 5G with the current state of digital infrastructure. That needs a radical makeover to be able to experience the complete power of 5G communication. This is Kalyan Parbat. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.